Never miss your chance to know what the latest sports news is in town, chances to win tickets, and knowing what is going on with all your favorite KFAN shows. Follow KFAN 1003 on all of our social channels like Instagram, TikTok, and X now. Stay connected and follow the sports leader, KFAN.
Couple 13-14 pastime common. He's going to be excited, delighted to be joined by the legendary one, Mark Rosen. Where there is smoke, there's fire. Where there's steam, there's hot air. I'm hearing everywhere where the people are basically saying the most logical landing spot, most likely landing spot for Aaron Rodgers is the Minnesota Vikings. Have you heard that too? And do you think that's a possibility? And would
sure,
you like
it's a possibility.
And would you be all for that?
Listen, at this point, all bets are off. What I've heard coming from Rodgers' camp, that he's going to make up his mind sooner than later. I mean, he's not going to drag this out. Last year we knew what was going on.
Right.
And eventually it was down to Pittsburgh, and after the Vikings said no much earlier, they could be revisiting that. I mean, I think it's going to be that an Aaron Rodgers type of quarterback. Again, the thing, let's just, if you want to do a compare and contrast between Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins, for instance, as far as, let's say one of those guys were to land with the Vikings, and I heard KOC talking today about J.J. McCarthy, that he's out in California, he's working with his quarterback guru, he's doing all this stuff that, he needs to be doing. He knows that you got to put the pedal down right away. But the Vikings, in the meantime, have to be obviously cognizant of the fact that J.J. has not been the most durable guy in the world. So the next guy up has got to be ready. This is not going to be a situation where you got a Carson Wentz signing, right before training camp, or a Sam Howell or whatever. So, I mean, the question is, my feeling would be that Cousins would probably be more accepting of, backing up since he did it last year than Aaron Rodgers. I think Rodgers would want to come in here and play.
I see. I thought you were going to say you thought Rodgers would be okay backing up.
No. I'm saying that the difference in terms of who do you think and what would work. Yeah. I mean, I think A-Rod isn't going to kind of finish off this career of his and wants to ride the bench. If J.J. McCarthy were to stay healthy and productive, it doesn't seem like a scenario that would probably be advantageous or, what Rodgers would want. I mean, where he played all of last year. I think Cousins would be more accepting of it, not as if he wouldn't. And these are not the only two choices. I heard Pete Vercich talk this morning a little bit. Basically, I think I shouldn't even say.
What did Vercich say?
I thought he was the one of the things that let's kind of put to bed the Kyler Murray rumors.
And why is he suggesting?
Well, I don't know all the specific reasons, other than the fact that I think there's a lot more heavy lifting to do as far as making a deal to get him, even though the Cardinals could cut him, but he'd still have a lot of money involved. But that, I think he feels that to be a much better chance of having, one of these other guys. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be either Cousins and or Aaron Rodgers. It's interesting you say A-Rod, the idea that potentially they'd be down this road before. We know that KOC's got a relationship with him and a positive one. We saw he was capable still of doing things with a more of a limited offense. But again, I'm with you 100%. I just don't know if KOC picked up the phone and said, "Hey, listen, we're going to have a quarterback competition, but let's face facts. I mean, it's going to be McCarthy's job. Unless number one, he can't stay healthy, or B, his production is really off early in the season. So I don't know how A-Rod would approach that thinking, other than the fact that he put on a uniform again one more year. And there are other players out there, obviously. I don't know the Mac Jones situation. That would take, I don't know, one of the guys was saying that potentially would take a second-round pick to pry him from the 49ers. I know you want to go down that road. I mean, if you can even go down, if the 49ers are even interested in going down that road. It's going to be an interesting month of March. That's for sure. And how the Vikings approach this thing. But I don't think they can sit around and wait very long. They certainly can't duplicate what happened a year ago. That was just a complete miscarriage of philosophy and approach to how they handle the quarterback situation.
Well, what I'll tell you about Mac Jones, I read an interesting story about him over the weekend. And, it talked about how it just didn't seem it was a good fit in New England for him. They changed coaches, and then you had Patricia became the guy. He's a defensive guy. He didn't have any, then they made the offensive coordinator at New England. If I understood the story correctly, it actually became a guy that had been a special teams coach his whole time. Belichick wasn't really warm up to him, and it wasn't a good fit for him. And now, since he's gotten back with San Francisco, apparently, he was 5-3 with San Francisco. He showed some real promise, the kind of promise you expected when he was drafted in the first round, I think 15th overall. And he's in a really good spot right now. He's back to apparently having fun, and that happens with guys. Sometimes they're in a bad spot. I'm not suggesting that makes him a Hall of Fame potential. I would really like the Vikings. I would rather go Mac Jones than McCarthy. And I'll tell you what, but I think it's going to, my guess is, look at, Shanahan's already said, look, hey, we have no interest in trading him. We want him because we like having a good backup. I think that's also just to say, you're going to have to sweeten the pot if you're going to get this guy for me. And I think there would be enough people interested. I think it would take more than a second-round pick. And I'm not saying that. I don't know if that'd be worth it or not. Because of all the young quarterbacks out there that are already out there, I would say of the unproven ones that don't have a starting job, I think Mac Jones is on the top of that
Again,
list.
he's looking up at the depth chart. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, Purdy stays healthy, and there's always a chance. But I mean, he wants to play, and I would too if I'm him. I mean, even these guys are young, but there's still time. The clock is ticking, and they want to get their playing time in. So it's. I don't know if San Francisco is necessarily going to be a better fit. I think, maybe the same situation. If McCarthy plays well, he's not going to play here. But I just think that the Vikings obviously have to go into this thing saying this is our guy in March who's going to be competing for the job. But again, hearing KOC today, there's no doubt that they want J.J. McCarthy to be the starter. Whether or not he can fit the bill and he can make this happen and join the rest of that ballyhooed rookie class that we talked about yesterday that's been, for the most part, very, very successful, remains to be seen. Because this is it. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that KOC's employment situation and everything else is tied in with this quarterback. I mean, it's inescapable. No matter what other pieces the Vikings manage to put together with the draft, free agency, trades, whatever it might be, comes down to that guy, calling the signals, and they can't miss. You've got not only have to make the playoffs, you have to win a playoff game, and that's the smallest expectation for this team going into this season. I mean, that's just it. And it's really about the quarterback, because we've seen it. We know the names by now from that quarterback class. The Vikings moved up to get him, and now year 3, basically. I mean, he's 10 games in, and he's out there working with his quarterback guru out in California, working on his, I don't even want to hear the word mechanics again, or footwork, or whatever it might be. I mean, he knows what's at stake. He, meaning JJ, and KOC even said that. There's no secret. He doesn't have to say, "Hey, kid, I hope you're working hard out there." I mean, he knows his career's on the line, basically, for this put up or shut up type of season, and not from a standpoint of staying healthy, but productivity. I mean, he's got to make that quantum leap this year. Otherwise, this might be the last we hear of J.J. McCarthy.
I love these ones where this one says, if Mac Jones was the answer, he'd already be starting somewhere. Okay.
Well,
Sam Darnold, if he was the answer.
Sam Darnold.
Wait. Again, and Mac Jones might end up being an abject failure. He might leave San Francisco, go somewhere, and not have any success. Right. I got an eye for quarterbacks. I understand how it works. Matter of fact, my top 3 quarterbacks at one time were Brock Osweiler, Robert Griffin Jr. the third, or Robert Griffin the third, and Jay Cutler. So I understand quarterbacks.
I thought Sammy Baugh was in that list.
Well, the all time. Well, the all time is
Otto Graham.
Otto Graham, you're right. Sorry, not Sammy Baugh.
And by the way, in Bleacher Report's top 199 quarterbacks of all time, they got they got Otto Graham at number 12. So it's not a stretch to have, everybody thinks, oh, you're just doing the bit about old quarterbacks. Otto Graham, I think, was actually the best. Otto Graham won, was it 9 championships in 10 years? It's
unbelievable.
That's a little bit better than Brady, trust me.
I know we're going to cover the kind of the wide world of sports going on locally, but I when we come back at some point, I want to have tip of the cap to Nico Medved and that Gopher basketball team. I watched the game last night.
You're a moral victory guy?
At Michigan?
All right. We'll let you do the moral victory.
I will do the moral victory guy for this in this particular case, not some of these other games they've lost, but last.
Okay, we'll do that. Mark Rosen will do that on the other side of the break. Well, moral victory, the Minnesota Golden Gopher men's basketball team, here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
Back in action after a gold medal run, the Wild face off at the Avalanche this Thursday. Puck drop is just after 8 p.m. Hear every goal, every save, and every game-changing moment right here on your home for Minnesota Wild Hockey, KFAN.
Pass. I'm Common East Tennessee. Mark Rosen. Last night, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, undermanned, only played 6 players, playing the number 1 team in the country. As good a defensive team as there is in college basketball. They go to Rupp Arena, and they lose by 10. They keep it close, and we heard a quote from Nico earlier, who basically said, "I'm not a moral victory guy, but I'm proud of the way the club played."
We've seen the Gophers fall flat on their face against inferior opponents. So this is not like a blanket statement about everything that's gone on this year. But, they're missing 6 scholarship players, and they had one guy that came off the bench last night, played 7 insignificant minutes. It's insignificant in terms of affecting the game. I don't even know who, Shinholzer or something like that, playing. I think now Michigan had dropped to 3rd overall, but they're still they're 26-2, and it isn't so much the result. I watched most of the game. I really like the style that Nico plays. I mean, they minimize their turnovers. They had only 8 turnovers. Michigan had 14, and you could tell by the reaction of the crowd at Chrysler Arena last night. They were like, "This is." I'm not saying they're bored, but it was like, this is like, I feel like they're losing, that their team is losing because they were 22-point favorites over the Gophers last night. And I don't know, maybe you have a better idea what the recruiting situation looks like for next year. Obviously, some of these guys will be back that they're missing right now. But in terms of just the style they played last night, I'm just talking about last night's game because that's probably the one I watched more than I have in quite a while. I was impressed that they didn't cave, that they had every opportunity to just get blown and get smoked out, by Michigan. And they made it, close enough that you go, okay, I like what they're doing. I like the message that Nico's got these guys playing at that level. I'm anxious to see a healthier version of this team in the coming years. And maybe again, it'll take, we know in basketball, you can recruit 1 or 2 guys and you can turn a program around as opposed to, a football team. But, playing a team that will likely be a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament and, maybe Michigan took them lightly. I don't know. But I mean, the fans in Chrysler Arena were like, they're in church last night. They were barely mustering any enthusiasm because they couldn't believe that the Wolverines weren't blowing them out. So, Kate Tyson, is that his name? He played all 40 minutes. Scored 20 points, 6 rebounds. He played well. And that's all I'm saying. It wasn't like I was hanging on the edge of my seat that the Gophers were going to pull an upset. I never felt for a minute they were going to probably win the game. But I think it's something that, in this day and age, or you just, pretty much everything that could go wrong has gone wrong for, Medved's first go round here with this basketball team from a health standpoint. So, Here's hoping for better things, for better health and better opportunities down the road. So that's all. That's my only observation.
You like this Gophers club, it sounds like.
Well, I like what they stand for. I like the way that Nico Medved has them playing. I like the way they move the ball. They don't get stuck in cement in a corner when they get double teamed. They move the ball around and. You can tell they're well coached, is what I'm saying. And again, I haven't watched. I know they've lost some games they should have won, but they've also pulled off a couple upsets at home. So I'm just, more than anything, just last night, I was like, man, you know what? They played hard against a team that's, one of the top 3 teams in the country.
This one says, moral victory mark. It says, would Rosie have been just as happy with the silver medal for the men's hockey? Because those 2 teams, that was a great effort by both clubs.
I wouldn't have bothered me.
Okay.
No, I mean, I don't really think that you compare professional hockey players with what I was just describing last night with a Gopher basketball team that's down to 5-6 people. I don't know what they're talking. What this guy's talking about.
I don't either.
Happy about it.
Well, I'm just reading what he read. He called you moral victory mark.
Okay, well, great. I mean, he obviously didn't care about watching the game or anything. That's fine. I don't care what he.
The only issue I would have is when you said it was like a church service in the crowd. Have you ever been to an evangelical Protestant? They're hooting and hollering.
I've been to
they're high energy. They lift their hands, vocal prayer, intense musical worship. Not every church service is really quiet.
And that's a misnomer. You're right. Mischaracterization. I went to years ago. My family, we were up in Harlem over on Christmas, and we walked into all black church on, I think it was Christmas morning. It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Followed hooting and hollering and people having a great time and singing and dancing, and it was like
praising the Lord is what they were doing.
But it was unbelievable. But it was really we purposely went up there to go to a service up there, and it was a great experience. So I wouldn't compare it. I'm just
it was
normal.
Let's go with library. It was like a library.
It was like a library last night. I think Chrysler Arena is not a. I was there years ago. I think it's still the same arena, right? They played at for quite a while. Chrysler Arena Chrysler Center.
You're excited about this Wolves club? A nice victory last night. They win by 3. You said you liked the way they played. It was a
disjointed game. Jaden McDaniels had maybe the best game of the season for him personally. He kind of saved their bacon. He played. He had a stat line that was kind of crazy. And you really understand the importance of having Rudy Gobert, in the lineup and his impact on the game. Portland's, kind of a pesky team. They're hanging around 500. The Wolves were dragging around for a little while, and they were, but they put the pedal down at the end, and they got the win, and they got 2 more road games. They got the Clippers, a team that smoked them here with Kawhi Leonard, not that long ago.
Yeah, we'll teach them a lesson. They're going to come in overconfident and cocky is what they're going to do.
I don't think so. And then they got Denver at Denver on Sunday. So
that's a big one. What time is that? Is that a matinee or is
that is an afternoon game? It's a 2:30 game because
I got stuff going on.
You do? No.
Yeah, it's too bad. Of an evening game, I probably would have caught it.
Yeah, that game last night just would not end, and I made the mistake of staying up. I shouldn't have done that.
In 40 years, when last night's Gophers basketball players have grandchildren sitting on their lap, they'll tell stories of how they almost beat Michigan. Why can't people...
There's nobody has any joy about anything anymore.
That's what I was thinking. Always a wet blanket on everything.
Yeah,
Wolves
why
win
is that?
And they want to tear the Wolves down.
Why can't you just say, listen, there's no disgrace in losing like that way, and it's not as if I just got through saying there were other games, and I didn't, I remember on the top of my head that the Gophers have lost that they should have won, and last night was not one. I'm looking at the body of work that they put out there in the court with basically a starting 5 that played. Asama played 38 minutes. Tyson played 40 minutes. The other guys played 38, 39, 38. 30. They're playing the whole game.
They never left the court.
No. And there used to be, when the Gophers had a team way back when, it was the Iron 5.
I remember the Iron 5.
Yeah, and they're not the only team that's ever had that, but it's been one thing after another. And I'm just saying for a team.
Thunder Pistons.
They were 22-point underdogs last night. That's all. And again, it isn't so much that they hung around. If you didn't see the game, I don't expect you to understand what I'm saying. But the manner in which that Medved's coaching them, and they have a discipline to them that I haven't seen in a while. That's all.
Since they only have 5 guys playing, they should call them the Fab Five.
Yes,
that's what I think.
They're not all fab. But
really, the biggest sporting event tonight is Thunder and Pistons. Top two teams in the NBA.
Yeah,
right
maybe. It's at Detroit.
Yeah, it's a top team in the West against the top team in the East.
Yeah, well.
Can't get much bigger than that.
Might be a
it's sort of like
playoff, yeah.
Sort of like tomorrow night, it's going to be in Colorado. It's going to be the Wild versus the Lance, two best teams in the West, maybe the two best teams in all of hockey.
Yeah, so, Lance. Don't the Lance have to play tonight? Uh-oh.
I think I'll watch.
They got the Mammoth tonight.
I think I'll watch some Thunder's Pistons. I mean, because my guess is that's a team where that's a game where two teams are really going to try start to finish, play defense, the whole thing. I'd like watching. When
is SGA back yet?
When two NBA teams play at a high level, what's it like, Tenneby?
It's like a symphony.
You are correct. We'll break. We'll come back with a little dis dat lat here on the Fan. Couple 13-14 past last segment, the legendary Mark Rosen here. I'm the common man, Dan Cole. Tenneby, the interim producer of the program, the bridge producer, had to step out. He had to leave early. So sitting in for the last segment, I'll introduce him to our audience, those that might not be familiar with him. That would be Justin Gard.
Oh, boy.
Also known as the tasteless box of mashed potatoes. Justin, for my audience that might not be familiar with you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I heard much about you.
Oh, I didn't know I'd have to give my bio today. I grew up watching Mark Rosen on Channel 4. When I got into the business, my dad said, you should really try to emulate Mark Rosen, so I immediately took 2 weeks vacation. And then came back to work.
That's a good idea.
Used that line about 50 times.
I know.
But
It works,
never stopped us before. Noon to 3 from what I hear.
No.
There's some controversy surrounding your athletic career. Apparently, you claim to have won 2
That's right.
Minnesota State Boys High School tennis tournaments, and the Pioneer Press could only find one.
That's right.
He only found one.
My sources say, though, Cash Patel is working on the case. He's going to get to the bottom of it.
Hey, hold on.
And I'm hot today.
You are hot.
Let's stay hot.
I actually had video of you winning that second one. I know we had it in our archives.
There's got to be a VHS somewhere, Rosie.
Unfortunately, though, we called it the morgue. I mean, we put all our old tapes and film and everything back there. What year was that? You win your second one?
2001.
Yeah, my sources tell me that it was a weak year for boys tennis. Is that true, or was there some really good competition?
I think we'll have to go back and take a look. I don't know.
Yeah, very good. Well, the team player that he is.
Yeah.
Could have said, I got things to do.
Yeah.
But here he is. He sits in for Tenneby. So now I'm not going to watch tonight's game between the Pistons and the...
Because all the guys are missing.
Because, let me... You're stealing my thunder. Speaking of the thunder...
Oh, you just said that.
Yeah, but I didn't on the air. Speaking of the injuries, the Oklahoma City Thunder, Alex Caruso, doubtful, left ankle sprain. SGA, out, abdominal strain. Hartenstein, out, right soleus management, whatever that is. Chet Holmgren, doubtful, low back spasms. AJ Mitchell, out, abdominal strain. Thomas Sorber, out, right ACL recovery. Jalen Williams, out, right hamstring strain. Meanwhile, Detroit's only got one guy out. Bobby Klintman, and the reason he's out, he's down at the G League. I mean, it's like, and you love the NBA. It's one of your favorite leagues, and everybody loves the NBA, and I'm the only one that doesn't. But this is part of the problem. I mean, are all those guys really that hurt?
I don't know.
That's what I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it's the reason why I've just looked it up right now. The Pistons they would not be 10.5-point favorites if that was a game that a fully loaded roster that OKC was putting out there in the court against Detroit. And it's too bad because they are, right now the two best teams in basketball. I mean, and you're not going to get that tonight if you're a Detroit fan going to that game. It's just the way it is. I don't know how you correct it. I don't know how you change it. You just don't. You just have to wait till the playoffs, I guess. But there goes your viewing habits. They can go back to watching Gilligan's Island or something.
Rockford Files?
I kind of gave the Rockford Files a break after about a year and a half of every night, 2 episodes. I got to the point where I've seen each one 4 or 5 times now. We have been doing a lot of Gilligan's Island. And coming up in, I think it's March, it's been leaked. The reboot of Regular Show is going to come on.
What do you mean a regular show?
It's called The Regular Show.
I've never heard of it. I don't know what that is.
Gosh.
I'm sorry.
Cartoon Network.
Oh, I thought you were talking about, because I thought there was a reboot of Rockford Files they were doing.
Oh, yeah, but that's you.
Without James Gardner.
No, there's no sense to even do it. I won't watch it for a second.
No.
I'm just telling you.
I know. I don't know what that is. I heard you talk about that before.
Regular show is so good.
Okay.
The stars of the show are Mordecai and Rigby. Mordecai's a blue jay. Rigby's a raccoon. Their boss is a gumball machine named Benson.
You're joking, right?
No.
You're watching this?
Yes.
Is this animated?
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's not a real gumball machine.
I know, but I mean, I'm just saying. I
It's
can't.
an animated. Yeah. I watch it with Deuce and Baby Brother Peter. It's one of our favorite shows.
I understand
It's one of
watching The Simpsons and Family Guy and all that. I never heard that.
I don't do that.
Well, I'd listen to Deuce over his. I got his taste.
The best part is back when Cove was doing his, he did the 24 hours for
Lupus.
So we were all asked, hey, could you come in for an hour or two and share time with him?
Sludge-a-thon.
Yeah, the Sludge-a-thon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I come in one. I say, okay, how about 7:00 on Saturday? He said, yeah, that's great. And there's other people here too. But I walk in, and I'm wearing a regular show T-shirt that's got a picture of Benson. He's the gumball machine. All it is his face. And the first thing Cove does, it goes, Benson from regular show. The only other person that I know who would know that is because, I mean, when you watch as much television as he does, there's not a show he hasn't seen. He knew who Benson was.
He never leaves his basement.
No. So, but and they're doing a reboot.
Okay.
J.G. Quintel, who created it and voices Mordecai, they dropped it after 8 years. They decided to do the reboot. You know why they decided to do a reboot? Not because of popular demand. His next project didn't work, and he needed some more money. I think so. He said, "Let's go back to what we did before." So
that must be a hoot working on a show like that.
It's supposed to be March 6th.
Okay. Well, I may have to catch it now since it's your.
You won't care for it at all. It's 15-minute episodes, and it's hard to explain because it's a cartoon.
I watch. I mean, you say cartoon, isn't?
It's a cartoon.
We grew up watching cartoons. I wouldn't call The Simpsons, Family Guy. Those aren't cartoons; those are just animated shows.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just saying, we grew up watching the Roadrunner. You know, that was a cartoon.
Here's what I'll tell you: you have to trust me on it. You won't. But go ahead.
I won't know. I don't know
I don't think you'll
what the connection would be. I probably will not watch it.
I really don't think you'll like it.
Too many other shows.
Twins. I saw a story where, Royce Lewis, if you'll remember, they asked him one time about slumps, and he laughed it off. I don't slump. Mm-hmm. I don't know the definition of that word. Then he has two of the longest slumps of the top 30 slumps in the history of Minnesota Twins baseball. He went with a private hitting coach that was recommended to him by
Correa
and someone else. They recommended and said, this is the guy you need to go with. And, I don't know if that does make a difference or not. I mean, it's always nice to have another set of eyeballs. I mean, even a guy like Tiger Woods, he had 3 or 4 different swing coaches over the years, right? And so sometimes just a new set of eyes and a different approach to it will help. I mean, look, I don't think there's any of us out there that think this is going to be like 1991 and they're going to win the World Series. But if you even want to have a season where you at least go to people, hey, they're actually not so bad. I'm seeing some improvement. The moral victory kind of stuff. It's imperative that he play like he was expected, or like he did for that short period of time when he first came up. He needs to return to that. Otherwise, they just don't have a lot off. They've got Buxton, and again, will he stay healthy? They have 2-3 players with any real offensive skills at all.
Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers of players they have. They're playing this afternoon in Fort Myers. They're losing 5-2. Not that matters. I'm looking at the lineup and the numbers of players that have been in the lineup, starting with Buxton, who led off, and then the recognizable names that are going to be part of the team. Larnach, Keishel playing second base, got a couple RBIs. This Culpepper kid might end up making the team as a shortstop. Jeffers is a catcher. Cody Clemens is back. Brooks Lee, 2 hits today. Austin Martin, Urshela. The pitchers, Thunder Burke started, then a bunch of guys. Honestly, I think Topa I've heard of. The rest of the guys, I have no idea who they are. Just that's, the guys with number 74s on their uniforms. But that's not to suggest that's, obviously we know that, they had a piece today saying, hey, projecting the Twins opening day roster. And, well, we already know Lopez is gone. So you start with Joe Ryan and you go, Okay, and then Bailey Ober, then Simeon Woods Richardson, and then, the everyday lineup. How are they going to compete at that level? I don't.
Speaking of Ryan in Michigan says the Pistons are so good and they try hard every night. We do things different in Michigan. See, they do it different in Michigan than we do at Target Center. The Pistons play hard every single night. That's why they only have 9 losses. That's why.
Well, they got to do it in the postseason. That's really what matters.
Here's another one that says,
they're a fun team. Cade Cunningham is MVP. I mean, in the East, that's for sure.
This one, this text message says, "Will Rosie pledge he will not rest until he finds JG's second state tennis title?"
It's too late. I looked for it. Came up empty.
Yeah. Okay.
I went through the database and could not find it, but I know we had it because I remember covering it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why?
It was right up there with Lake Placid for you.
Right up there with Lake Placid
going down to 98th Street Lifetime. Greg
Wickland defeating someone in a
that's right
grudge match.
Who's Greg Wickland?
I just want to get a chuckle out of guards.
It's one of our mutual friends. One of my coaches.
Okay.
The best coach in the country.
Absolutely.
All right.
He's probably listening.
Tennis coach?
Right
now. Yeah.
Because you weren't, I don't know if people know this from what I've been told you were an accomplished basketball player too. Were you starting point guard for any guy?
I sure was. Yeah.
How did the team do overall? I don't remember you ever telling me. Were you guys okay?
We were okay. Good? We were all right. Yeah. I mean, I'll open the yearbook with you one day and show you.
Did you ever go to state?
No, we lost in the section finals my senior year at Maturi Pavilion.
No.
To Bloomington Jefferson. Yep. It was tough. And I think about it every time I walk into that building, which is like 50 times a year.
Right.
Never let it go.
Heartbreaker, blowout?
Boy.
It was like by 10 or 12.
Ever a moment where you thought maybe or
no? They jumped us early and we never really got back into it. Yeah, it was tough.
I watched baby brother Peter playing 2 section championships.
It's heartbreaking, man. I know, you're right there. We saw last night with Rosemont Hockey beating St. Thomas.
Oh my!
Over at the new St. Thomas Arena.
That was quite the celebration scene too.
Awesome. Haven't been there since 1992, and you were probably doing the state tournament back then, Rosie. Rosemont hasn't been in it.
No, they have not
since 1992. It's pretty cool.
Pete Squad lost to Jiggy Trey Holloman in his junior and senior. He lost to Janicki, who's playing with Wisconsin now. So, yeah, it's like got beat by a couple of pretty good players, So it's just the way it goes. It's heartbreaking. It really is.
Yeah, that's it, because that's your last chance to be with your buddies. That's
the best part. Was
the next time I played basketball was with Tenneby, Sludge, and Doogie at a park.
Oh my God!
I mean, think about that.
How'd that turn out?
It was fine. It was fun. But that was the next time I played, I think. One of the last.
Remember when Lefevre was still in town? Young Ryan Lefevre. Boy, time goes by. He's now he's still, right, the television voice for Kansas City. Think where his career went, where mine went. Here he is. He's play-by-play guy, TV, Kansas City Royals, and I'm just a middle and midday guy. But,
right.
Because we used to...
You're just trying to run out the clock here until 3.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Carl and Dan on the fan. We used to have Lefevre on the air. That's how long it was. He was playing baseball for the Golden Gophers. His old man won the Rookie of the Year for the Dodgers back in 1965.
Yeah.
Okay, so
he to play the Twins in the World Series.
When he was in town, he would set up Lefevre. There's a Catholic church on the University of Minnesota campus, and he had keys to the gym. So we would set up pickup basketball games. Every can't did this tale before. And so we would get, all the fan people. And then to fill out the roster, I'd bring a couple of my buddies, right? And so the Paul Allen Project's playing PA, and he's on the other team. And what happens is when the ball's down on the offensive end, with PA's team has the ball, he's trying really hard. We'd get the rebound, go down to the other side of the floor, and PA's got his hands on his knees, sitting in the paint, back down on the offensive side. So after doing that a couple of different times, I yell out, I go, "Hey guys, it's 5-on-4. One guy doesn't want to play defense."
Oh boy.
He got so bitter. He started swarming me. And it's like, then one of his teammates came up to me afterwards and said, "I'm glad you said something, because we were getting really tired of him not playing any defense."
I'm sure.
Yeah. It was 5-on-4. But, so we used to have some really, really...
I believe it.
Oh, they were some... I don't know if you know this, but they'll tell you in the boxing days, back in the 60s and the 70s, down at the in Philadelphia, they used to have fights at the Blue Horizon, right? It was a big boxing club. And some of the best middleweight fighters in the world were out of Philadelphia during that era. And they would say, this is what the boxing people said, that you would see better fights in sparring. Guys just trying to be, I'm the guy. This is my gym. I'm the dominant guy. That you would see better fights in sparring in the gym than you would just at Blue Horizon. Same thing. The games you would see at that Catholic gym with all of us from the fan, they were wars. Okay, that's a stretch.
That's a bit of a stretch. But
I thought I would do that. I'll workshop that bit and save it for another time. What do you guys think of your Wild Club? I mean, tomorrow, again, it's not the end of the season if they lose, but this is kind of this is where you kind of draw a line in the sand a little bit, right? You have and we don't trail Colorado by very much anymore now, right? Is it a point or two in the standings, or am I wrong there?
Well, let me check. Is Colorado plays tonight?
No, we're down by 5 points.
Is it 5 points?
And they have a bunch of games in hand.
They do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they've been pretty dominant. But why not set the tone?
Well, that's it. That's
why
what I'm
not set
saying.
the tone at Pepsi Center?
Yeah. Let's set the tone at Pepsi Center.
Yeah, because Colorado's playing tonight on the road at Utah, so they'll be welcoming back their Olympians tomorrow night. Although, McKinnon, of course, couldn't get it done for Team Canada. Rest of the story, but yeah, I'm sure they're not going to be real. Makar, those guys are not going to be real happy. They want to get back on the ice, and yeah, but it's been. I wonder how Kaprizov's been just spending his last 2.5, 3 weeks.
Should be fresh.
You would think so. But yeah, it's going to be a fun end of the season.
Maybe he'll come back and he'll be rusty.
Well, that's possible.
He might not be. He might be rusty. I hope he's continued to skate and work out and didn't get fat and happy. Well,
no, you never know.
Guys get fat and happy.
They do. Yeah.
I'm worried how hungover our Olympians are going to be. It's been a bender for the last 72 hours. Well deserved.
Yeah.
I guess Krager's Leopold sent the jet today to go pick him up from D.C. to get him back so they can make
Colorado.
It's a good life.
Yeah, not a bad life.
It's good to be an NHL guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see if the other shoe drops with Billy G. And we've talked about it enough about the possibility of making a trade before the deadline. But it's.
I'd say drop the other skate. Just because.
Yeah, it's Colorado, Minnesota, and Dallas. It's going to be that's it. And no matter how you slice it, you just don't want that first round exit. And even if they're playing a great team like Colorado, because it's been, unfortunately, it's been the curse of the Wild. They just rarely can get past the first round, and they're going to have another opportunity with a really good hockey team that they have right now.
If they lose in the first round, is Billy on the hot seat?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Transportation question for you, Common?
Yeah.
Our final couple of minutes?
Yeah.
You've mentioned before when you go to Camp Richard, or if you have to go to the golf opener and you're doing a show.
Right.
And they'll say, well, do you want to drive up with Tenna? You always say you want to ride alone, right?
Correct.
What if you were one of the Wild Olympians, if you were Boldy or Faber or Hughes, and Craig sent the private plane, which isn't very big. Mm-hmm. Would you ride a private plane with other people?
I've done it before.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh, it must be nice.
Well, one time I got to ride. It was Chip Glazer. He and he owned I-80s.
I-80s. Oh, yeah.
Chip's well-to-do. He and his half brother Dave Moody, and so one day, Hartman and I used to do shows up at I-80s all the time, and Chip took a liking to us, and he calls me up one day, and he goes, "Hey, Common, want to take you and Hartman over to Sand Hills in Nebraska, private exclusive course in the middle of nowhere. It's a Crenshaw Coors course." I go, "God, that'd be great." I go, "How long of a drive is it?" Long pause. He goes, "Well, we're not driving. We're taking my buddy's private jet. We'll fly out to North Platte. They'll meet us there." It's the only time I've ever flown private jet in the world. It's the greatest way to travel. Yeah. Now, there's a big carbon footprint, but I couldn't worry about that at the time.
No,
because it's not about me.
You're trying to go low.
I'm just on.
Yeah.
It is the greatest thing. You show up at Signature, right? And they let you in, you give them your name, and you drive. Everybody gets out of their cars. They go inside. It's a small, little, tiny,
hangar.
What do they call it? Not a hangar, but the...
it's just like a lobby.
Yeah. And,
right.
And you get in there, and you all talk for a couple seconds. You go, well, ready to go? Why not? You climb on the plane and take off. There's no TSA. There's no waiting.
You can make a cup of coffee in the lobby if you want to. Grab a snack.
Yeah, it's the greatest thing ever. And that was the only time I ever flew private, and I think that'll be the last time.
Did you let Hartman sit down first, or did you have to wait for Chad to pick the seat?
I let them all pick their seats.
Yeah.
In fact, I had to ride in a pet crate.
Right.
If you think the service on coach is bad, I had to howl for an hour before they changed my water dish.
Oh, okay.
Copyright Wild Bill Bauer. Thank you very much.
Good.
Yeah.
Never gets old.
So, it can get a little old. But speaking of that, got an opening for you. We've been New Hope Cinema Grill, well, you made your comedy debut
I
April
did.
18th. Would you like to?
You know what? I will not.
Look at him looking at his calendar. You have nothing in your calendar. April 18th.
I'm going to be in Rome. I'm not making that up. Yeah, I'm gone.
Oh, it must be nice.
Well, it's a trip of a lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah. Trip of a lifetime.
Yeah, we're going.
One of several you'll be going
I was going to
on.
say,
Well, I'm
this
not
is
like-
a trip of
I'm
a
not
lifetime.
like,
The
I'm not
rest
like-
of the stuff.
Not like Louis.
Was Turks and Caicos not a trip of a
Yeah,
lifetime?
Palm Springs.
No, none of those.
Oh, give me a break. My goodness. No, I have not been there. This is me special. No, I will not be here.
Right.
So I'm sorry.
JG, you want to try your comedy chops? I can put $1.25 in your pocket.
April 18th.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, Chaska, Alaska. What's a good one for Rome? Someone's going to have to help us
Rome or
with that.
Nome?
Yeah, seriously.
Nome,
Yeah.
Alaska or Rome?
Do you have Rome written in your calendar? That's one I think you wouldn't even forget,
See, look at he's got his big calendar.
Yeah, I love the calendar. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm old school like Rosie. Absolutely. I like to write it. I don't have anything like that in there. I have
17th.
Champaign, Illinois written in there on Saturday.
Don't you use your calendar on your
No.
Oh,
I like to write it out. I like to see it more.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
old
but
school like Rosie.
Yeah.
I know, but look
My
at
dad told me to be like Rosie. That's how I started this whole thing.
I just opened mine, and then what you do? You hit the calendar a second time.
Yep.
And then everything gets released. Then you see it all. It's the same thing you have. It just got to hold
Yeah,
it.
I understand that. I just
I'll
like
teach
look
you
at
how
the
to do
whole
it.
month.
I know.
I know how to do it.
I don't think you do. I think you're old school, and technology has kind of passed you by.
Okay, listen to you.
That happens when you get to be old like you
Listen to
are.
you.
We'll see you tomorrow at 2:00. Correct.
Yeah, we're not doing Spread Spring anymore. I'll be here at 2:00.
Tennessee, not Tennessee. JG, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
And thanks for filling in. You as well. We're back tomorrow at 12 noon. Big Ticket JG there next year on The Fan.
Good night.
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.